Hi, I'm Nick Houston here for Gotham Sound and Communications. I'm with Adam Parr from Timecode Systems on the other side of the pond.
Hi.
Adam, thanks for being here.
It's a pleasure.
So you guys just launched some new stuff.
Yes, we did.
And Adam's here to show us basically the Timecode Systems ecosystem. So tell me what's new, what's exciting, and what do you got?
So I suppose the big news at the moment is all about our new SyncBac Pro, which is our timecode solution for GoPro Hero 4 black and silver cameras. So this is the first time that anyone has been able to offer a proper, true, embedded timecode solution for a GoPro, which is huge news, as we all know. They are used, extensively on all sorts of production, whether it be from, reality TV, where you have a lot of them. Witness cameras on film sets, cameras on cars, on documentary. They're used everywhere, and the big headache has always been, timecode sync for that camera. So we're part of the GoPro developer program. So we've been working with GoPro on this product for a couple of years now, developing it. We've had direct access, to their team of developers, and we've worked kind of side by side and getting this project finished. So what we've come up with is a really nice integrated solution, which fits kind of perfectly on the back of the camera. So that's really cool.
And that's this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So this is the GoPro itself, and then the SyncBac is just this little piece that goes on the back. And what's in here? Because obviously, this is on, but the camera's not.
Yeah. So this really is the same as the rest of our other hardware. So in that small compact size, this is a full timecode generator and a blink transceiver, essentially. So this is working over our blink RF protocol, which is all on 915 megahertz. So it's our own stable, unique protocol that we've developed. And just to reference back to the size and how it clips on, this is the exact same size and dimension of the existing GoPro accessories that they make. So it's the same size as the LCD viewfinder, that's the same size as the additional battery pack. And that means that not only does it simply clip onto the back of the camera and just connect using the Hero bus connector on the side, it means that you can use all the off-the-shelf GoPro accessories to actually mount that in. So, for example, I'll just pull one out here. We have a waterproof housing. It's got the extended back door, which is a standard GoPro accessory, and that literally you can throw it straight into that case, and it all just clips in nicely. And there you go. Now you have a fully waterproof, submergible, time-coded Hero 4 camera, which is pretty cool. So
take me through the ecosystem. So that's the new thing. Take me through how this works, where you would start with that. How you would get the time code from, say, a Sound Devices 633 or any other device into that.
I mean, any of our products, so our TRX Plus, our Wave, or our Pulse product, and even the Deniki TS-TCB Slate, will actually transmit timecode to the SyncBac.
Okay. Any of them?
Any of them at all can transmit timecode.
This can be a master.
In theory, it can be. Yeah. So you've got full flexibility, no matter what you've got. And I believe even our older legacy products like the Wi-Fi Master, you'll still be able to transmit the basic timecode to the SyncBac Pro.
Oh, wow.
So it completely fits in with all of our products and all of our older products as well, as far as that timecode workflow. Obviously, there are kind of preferable products to use based on how things are tailored on set. Really, you get the most use out of the product and the most features if you use our Pulse product, almost like a little mini base station.
Right.
So that really works as like a central hub for everything. And then using that Pulse product, that unlocks all the extra functions that we can do using the SyncBac over Blink and the GoPro camera and things.
Got it.
So kind of just to summarise what we've got working here, we have a Pulse unit here as our master clock. That's currently feeding a 633. This is also transmitting out across our Blink protocol on 915, and that's sending the timing information to our 2 TRX Plus units here, and obviously the SyncBacs on the back of the GoPro cameras. And we have 3 GoPro cameras at the moment with SyncBacs on. We also have a Slate as well, which I'll come on to in a second.
And so tell me a little bit about the Blink protocol. You said it's 9.15. How is 9.15? Because I know 2.4 is pretty busy.
It is very busy, and so is the likes of 5 gig as well. So the Blink protocol being on, it's 9.15 to 9.18, and you have 14 selectable channels within that band. So you've got plenty of choices, let's say, if you find that multiple users are on set. The band is incredibly stable and incredibly clean as well, by the way it's regulated and the rules of using that band. It's it's an ISM band reserved for data packet methods of transmission. So it's impossible for anyone to be on those frequencies. Well, I say impossible, illegal for anyone to be on those frequencies and stream constant data. So you'll never find a video sender or anything else that's constantly streaming data on that frequency block. As a consequence, we get fantastic range and stability out of our system. I mean, the SyncBacs have a range from the pulse to a SyncBac. You're looking around about 300 meters. What's that? 900 feet.
900 feet. Yeah. So 3 football fields, give or take.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then our TRX product and the Slate product, Wave, Pulse, that have the external antenna, it's closer to 500 meters line of sight, kind of 1,500 feet. So it's a huge range that we can get out of it. Obviously, that is line of sight, but I mean, if you ask any of our users that are out there, I don't think I've known of a single occasion where someone's had to change the channel they're on, let alone have any problems with the RF at all, because it is so clean and robust. So yeah. It's really good. The NHL chose our system, for example, for their stadiums. We did a project with the NHL where they put GoPro cameras in the goalposts.
Oh, cool.
On the ice. And basically they had one TRX transmitting in the studio, which was high up in the rafters. And even when the stadium was full of people, all with smartphones that are on 2.4, sending out their Wi-Fi beacons and things, even when there was 10,000 people there, you could get stadium-wide coverage using just one TRX signal. So it's very, very strong.
Okay. And so tell me a little bit about the in and out on the pulse. So we've got a bunch of cables going to the 633.
Yep.
And then we've got a Ethernet cable that's going into your laptop. So what's going on here?
So basically, the Pulse is our flagship product. And originally we probably marketed this towards the video department as a camera accessory.
Yeah.
However, with the new Blinker app and the interface with sound devices, this actually lends itself to a cart-based system really well, and also a bag-based system as well. So basically, the Pulse has extra connectivity for external devices, including our application and sound devices, 6 series mixers. So the Pulse, as well as having the ability to send and receive timecode over our Blink protocol on the 915, this also has an inbuilt Wi-Fi connection, which is inside the unit itself. No need for external dongles or anything, it's all built in. And it also has a 2-port Ethernet switch on the side as well, Ethernet connection on the side.
Got it.
And this means that we can either use the Wi-Fi or the Ethernet to run our Blink Hub application. So if you have a tablet or a smartphone, you can hop onto that Wi-Fi network in the field if you have it in your bag and you're running around using the Wi-Fi, or on a cart if you've got a PC or a MacBook, you can go out the Ethernet and plug straight in, actually not use the Wi-Fi connection at all, and just go hardwired into the Pulse and then use the Blink protocol to control our devices, which is what we're doing here. So we integrate with sound devices. Using the Blink Hub app, we have full control over all the 6 series products. I think you guys probably seen a little bit of that on your previous videos. But if we cut to the Blink Hub app, which there we go. If I select our master device, here's our Pulse here. If I click on this Pulse unit, you can see that it pulls up the sound device settings. We've got take control in there, so I can amend scene and take information. I can also, obviously, that obviously sets our file name as well. And then I have a small notes section down here as well. So I can actually enter notes within the application and send those to the media within the sound recorder.
Okay.
So a really cool feature.
And there's a remote roll and all that.
There's a remote roll as well, yes. If I hit record within the application, you can see that the 633 starts recording and stopping it as well. Cool.
So yeah, it does all the things that you would want it to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit. There's a lot of other stuff on
this
app.
There is indeed. So referring to the Pulse as a hub, basically all of our timecode devices, as well as receiving the timecode and sync information. Sorry, I should say, I didn't mention earlier, all our products do timecode and genlock.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, important feature. So they receive the timecode and the genlock sync information, and then they send back their status to the Pulse unit over the same long-range RF protocols.
Okay.
They're sending back their status. So within the app here, which is connected via Ethernet to the Pulse, I can see all of our timecode devices. So here I have two TRX in the purple color. I can, if I click on those, I can actually change the color of that. That's up to you what color you have, but it makes it very easy to see. I can control that TRX now from here. So if I need to change the sync output on that device, I can actually go into the app and I can select what sync output I want from the sync connector, and that can be all the SMPTE genlock standards. It can be a second LTC timecode output, and we also have word clock out on them as well.
Oh, cool! And just to show where everything is on this unit. So this is the mini TRX, right? So you've got, this is the sync output we were referring to. Obviously has an internal battery in it.
It does. Yep.
Internal battery backup, power port. And then this is timecode out. So, and what you're saying is this is a multifunction port.
Absolutely.
It can do whatever. And it's small. And this is, for everything this does, this is pretty inexpensive. It's less than $500.
Yeah, it's $499. Right. Yeah. Which everything it does, it's a very, very powerful sync box and very flexible. I mean, if you didn't want all the app control and everything else, you could just get a load of TRXs. You can set one as a master, the rest in receive mode as slave units. It's still locked to GoPros, the Slate, everything else, and do all your timecode workflow from that price point, and all wirelessly with zero drift over the RF, etc., etc.
So, and tell me about, and that's, to me also, that's huge that it has the wireless sync capability, because it really, it will lock the cameras into exactly the timecode that you have.
So providing timecode and genlock is a real selling feature of the product, and a lot of people misunderstand the relationship between timecode and genlock and the importance of it. Obviously, supplying a camera with timecode is great, and it uses that to embed in the file as your synchronization point, but it doesn't alter the speed in which that camera is running. So once you start a take, that timecode has gone in, it's taking a sample of that timecode, but the speed in which that camera runs is completely determined by the camera's clock. So without supplying genlock, essentially that camera can run slower or faster than the onset timecode, which means you might lose or gain a frame, or even worse for some cameras, during the course of one particular shot. So supplying both is true sync, is true synchronization. So in other words, if you've ever worked on a job where post is saying, hey, all the short clips are fine, but once we get, once we're doing a 10, 15 minute, we're starting to see 2, 3, 4 frames of drift. Providing genlock with something like this would take care of that. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, awesome. Completely. Okay. So yes, that's that. So tell me more about more app stuff. Going back to the Blinker app. So again, the TRX here, obviously I can remote control. I can even name that as well. So I can give it a local name. So it's called TRX1. If I click on the name tab here, I can call that. Let's call that Cam1 instead. And if I get this unit ready, if you can cut after I send this, if you cut back to the TRX, you'll see that it's changed. That was fast. Changed instantly to Cam1. So it's a nice way of labeling and keeping track of all your units and knowing which which camera you're looking at in relation to the timecode device. Obviously, we can remote monitor the battery status of that unit as well. We can change the individual user bits on that unit. And again, all that sync helper stuff.
So you could
cool. I can even turn the backlight off if I want to for me.
So you could put different user bits on different cameras.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's neat.
Or we can
That's
send a
really
global user bit. That's a setting within in the thing.
All right, so tell me about the green boxes.
Cool.
Then.
The green boxes on screen are actually our SyncBac Pro units. So they're already on. I can see them. These are on the back of the GoPro Hero 4 cameras. The cameras themselves are switched off.
Oh, okay.
And then again, this is another great kind of selling feature, I suppose, of the Pulse, using it as a base station. The Pulse has the ability, and it's only in the Pulse, has the ability to control the camera itself.
Yeah.
Again, over our long-range protocol, which is really, really useful.
Yeah.
So say 10 GoPros were rigged in the morning in a difficult location, high on a lighting rig or a difficult hidden camera type scenario. It means that we can actually turn those cameras completely off to reserve the battery life of the GoPro itself. Then using our app, we can actually remotely turn on that camera and remotely roll record that camera.
So we, this is clearly not 900 meters, but across the room, probably about 20 feet away, we put a GoPro up on a shelf. And so let's see that turn on.
So I've labeled that hidden camera on the app, but I'll just quickly, I'll turn that on using the application.
Here we go. And it beeped.
And there you go. The camera's turned on. It'll boot up. And then if we cut back to the app quickly, you can see that this box has popped up underneath. And as the camera boots up, we get the SD card status with how much time we have remaining, and we have the battery of the camera itself. So we can see that battery is at 73%. And again, all this is over a long-range link. And then, of course, if I hit record now, you can hear it.
And there it goes.
And there it goes.
Yeah, and it's blinking.
It's blinking away. There you go. So that camera's now in record. And that feeds back to the Pulse base station. You can see within the application here now that you can see that the camera title has gone red to show that it's in record, so you know which cameras are recording. I can do them all individually, or just to prove this now. If I stop this camera, let me wake up these two as well that are on the desk here. And I can do this using a global command, but I'll get them all turned on first of all.
Okay.
Once they all boot up and the cameras are running, I can go down to this section of the application, which is group sending. And for the sake of argument, I shall turn this to all.
Okay.
And hit send on there. And then when I roll record here, it drops all three cameras into record.
This one, the one in the back, I see it. We don't need a shot of it.
Yeah, and then if you return to the app, you can see that all three GoPro units are showing their recording. And again, I can stop them all from one place. So this is a really, really cool workflow tool on set. It saves a load of faffing around with GoPros, stopping and starting, and then trying to manually slate them, turn them off, all that kind of thing. And it means that production can actually get on quicker with the task in hand. And if that saves you half an hour during the course of the day, it might save you even longer than that. It means everyone can wrap that little bit earlier, which is a good thing.
And what's the battery life on the SyncBac Pro with powering the Heroes?
So the SyncBac Pro itself has a completely independent battery. So that will run for about 12 hours on its internal battery, which means that you've got a 12-hour window essentially to wake up that camera and roll record. Because the GoPro battery itself will probably last about 2 hours when you're recording. So it kind of helps stretch out the life of that camera before having to do a battery change. We don't. So just to quickly grab one, we don't provide any power to the camera. But if we charge the, let's try and get that on. There we go. If we charge the SyncBac through its USB, it will actually charge the internal battery of the GoPro as well at the same time. So if you're doing a hidden camera show and you can run and they want to run power to the GoPro, if you put power into our SyncBac, it will keep everything powered up and charged.
Got it.
Which is cool.
And the other cool thing about the remote wake up is, you know, in car rigs especially,
Yep.
it seems like the camera people take so much care in positioning the shot, and then sometimes they've got the mount and then they have to take it out to turn it off,
Yep.
or it gets moved. But if you can do it without touching it, the shot's not going to be
Absolutely.
affected.
And the other good thing as well is that obviously once the shot's been framed, this does obviously, if you want to use the LCD accessory, this does take that place. But you can pop this off, put the LCD viewfinder on, frame up your shot, lock it off, and then just put the SyncBac on afterwards, knowing that it's, you know, all aligned.
Perfect, yeah.
We don't use any of the Wi-Fi capability of the camera itself.
So you could still dial into the Wi-Fi.
You could still use the GoPro app, connect to that particular camera, and make sure that it's still, you know, all aligned and nothing's moved and things.
Now, how many different units can the Blink Hub app support? Like you've got one pulse.
Yep.
How many different units can connect to it?
It's around about 30 units. Yeah, for getting feedback. Obviously, the actual time code itself, the Blink time code is essentially unlimited.
Right.
We can have as many devices listening as we wanted, and they'll get accurate time code and gen log. But obviously, if they're transmitting back their status to the pulse, we're limited at the moment to around about 30 units. But I believe future versions will probably unlock higher quantities. But that's a lot of devices on set.
That's a lot of devices. That's a really, really big concert.
Yeah.
And in terms of the app, right now it's Mac OS, iOS, is it Android?
Yep.
Android as well?
I may have a PC version coming out probably next month or so. Yeah, so it's completely cross-platform on any device over Wi-Fi or Ethernet.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So, and again, one thing which I'll go to as well, the Slate also works across the Blink protocol.
Oh yeah.
The Deneki TCB Slate.
Here, I'll turn it on.
So if we power that on,
Power it on, yeah.
in fact, what I'll do, it's the good way of doing this. If I cut back to the app for 1 second, if I click on our master pulse unit here, this is one thing that we can do. I can set time code from the app itself. So this is like a global configuration because I'm on my master unit. If I set time code here, I can either put something in manually, or I can click on auto, which will take whatever time the device is on itself. So if I hit auto there, and I hit send, that will update everything instantly across our Blink protocol. So if I go to a TRX now, you can see that's jumped to, oops, that way around. That's jumped to 1427 immediately after changing it on the app. And again, if I power up the Slate now, so straight away from cold,
1427
instantly gets synced immediately.
And it shows up in the app as well.
Absolutely. So you'll notice now if you quickly ping back to the app again, you'll see another red box with Slate, and there you go, and that's our Slate.
And is there control of the Slate from
indeed.
here?
Yeah.
So you can do this?
Absolutely, yeah. So we can now, using the Blink Hub app, send information to the second screen over our long-range RF Blink protocol, which is really useful. So if I type in the box here, if I put Gotham in there, look, and hit enter, it'll appears immediately on the Slate screen.
That's cool
Really
because
cool.
it's so much better with the increased range of this, and
absolutely.
then having a hard wire, or at least if you're here and you're controlling the Slate from your bag, that's huge. That's cool.
So it works really nicely, and obviously that can be seen on take, or it can be production title, whatever you want to put on there. Really, in the app as well, we have a box which is send to all slates. So if you have more than one slate,
I see.
The app knows that they're all slates, and it will send the same information to multiple slates. Right. Which is very, very cool.
Awesome. All right. Anything else we should know before we do our demonstration? Because anything else we should know?
I think that's it in a nutshell, really.
That's awesome.
It kind of shows the app is completely free. That's one thing to mention. Obviously, we still integrate with our friends at Slate, very much so, with the cool stuff that those guys do. Again, with the Sound Devices Slate integration. So for those existing Slate users, they can use our product for all the control, as well as the Sound Devices control with Slate, as well as using our product for the timecode control.
Right.
And again, with the Pulse as well, the Pulse will work on an Arri Alexa. Again, with Slate.
Yeah.
And in that combination, if you have an iPad running Slate with a Pulse on the Alexa, Slate will actually collect all the metadata frame by frame from the camera to do really nicely laid out reports for DIT, for production, for VFX, those kind of guys as well.
Yeah.
That's another really powerful workflow tool. It's probably not in Gotham's domain, but it's worth mentioning.
That's cool. No, that's amazing. So I think what I'd like to do is I just want to show off how easy the timecode integration makes importing into post and syncing up and all that stuff. Clearly, we're going to do this offline, so we'll make an addendum to this video that's available. The thing we didn't discuss beforehand is what we should actually film of that. I'm a fan of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Okay.
I don't know if you know the words. But maybe we could, you could do it with me. Like I could do Twinkle Twinkle, you could do a little star, and we'll go back and forth like that.
You can give it a go.
Okay, great. Here. So let's roll up then. And so what we'll do for this is we'll roll up our 3 GoPros. We'll cut this thing together, and then we'll post it. So here, you get one, and I get one, and we'll do it selfie style. Okay, ready?
There you go. It's a good
embarrassing. That's what we try and do. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. How I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. There we go. Perfect. All right. And scene. And so no claps there. When we post the video, we'll do it behind the scenes.
The app, shall I? There we go.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Awesome. And we have a question.
Yeah.
If there are any questions, then please post it now. So here's a question from Jeffrey Maggot. Is there ever going to be 788 support?
That is on the roadmap, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have an exact time scale for that at the moment, because obviously we've had a lot of stuff we've been focusing our teams on, getting all this to market and getting it out. But yeah, the 788 integration is on our roadmap, yeah.
And another question that I have, I know that Sound Devices just came out with the Wingman and the Pulse, and all this clearly does so much more. Like you would never have the Wingman talk to a GoPro.
Yeah.
Is there ever going to be meters using, with 6 series integration?
At the moment, that's a grey area, if I'm honest. So we don't have the. It's not in their protocol at the moment, Sound Devices protocol. So it hasn't been opened up to us just yet.
Right.
But as and when they do, we can make an assessment on what's involved and obviously how much bandwidth it takes through the everything else.
Got it.
I mean, maybe I don't know about full metering, but potentially maybe signal indication and peak, for example, would be achievable. Cool. But again, this is all
right. It's all conjecture once they open up the protocol.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. All right, Adam. Anything else?
Cool. I think that covers it.
Awesome.
I think. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure.
Thanks for making the flight. Thanks for the Timecode Day the other day, which if you guys didn't see, we'll have some videos from that coming up. Thank you for watching. Coming up next, we have no idea what's next week. We'll get back to you on that. But in 2 weeks, we're going to be in Boston. I specifically will be in Boston doing an expo or a mixer, whatever you want to call it. We're calling it the expo with a bunch of manufacturers. So if you're in the Boston area or if you decide you want to fly in, please join us for drinks and equipment, including stuff from Timecode Systems. That'll be November 6th. You can find it on our website and RSVP. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. View this video and others at Vimeo and YouTube. And if you have any ideas for things you'd like to do, see us do, including other things other than Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, maybe the wheels on the bus next time, please email us at info@gothamsound.com. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.